What's up, creators, creatrixes, and other conceptual creatures? I'm Wicked. I'm giving power back to the people, and you can't stop me. This is an energy forecast for week 49 of 2024. But before we get started, go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and click that little bell. With all that being said, this is December 1st through December 7th. It is currently Sagittarius season, meaning that the sun is transiting through the zodiac of Sagittarius and will be until the winter solstice on the 21st of December. We will then step into a new season and a new section on the Wheel of the Year. But until then, utilize this energy to get things done. Sagittarius is a fire sign. It is represented by the archer, always armed and ready to take a shot, ready to pounce on the moment. Sagittarius is an energy that loves to experience things. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, who is all about expansion and new horizons. So this is a fantastic time for you to get out into the world, experience something new, try a different type of project or a new way of organizing things or getting involved in your community. Whatever it is that calls to you, if it's travel or taking on new hobbies, now is a great time because Sagittarius is abundant with energy. But because Sagittarius is full of such almost hyper high vibrational energy, it's not the best time for focus. So this is a good time to make sure that you are constantly checking in with yourself and ensuring that you are hitting all of your necessary marks. It will take a little bit of energy to stay on top of our responsibilities during this season, but this energy can really light a fire under you and get you going in a positive new direction. On Sunday and Monday, the moon will be new in the Sagittarius zodiac as well, making this a wonderful time for new things. Whatever it is that you decide to get involved in, this is a great time to set intentions for those to be wonderful activities and experiences. When the moon is new, this is when we like to set our intentions for the rest of our cycle. So if you are trying out something new or getting involved deeper into your passions, this is a great time to set intentions for the positive fulfillment of those endeavors. On Tuesday and Wednesday, the moon will be waxing through the sign of Capricorn, and this is a great time to really get focused. If you like to work with the moon cycles, this is a wonderful time to start bringing in some of that focused energy to apply it to whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. But this is also just generally a good time to get grounded in the physical reality and make sure that you are taking care of things. Capricorn is an earth zodiac. It's very stable, very responsible, very determined. So on these couple of days, you can use this extra energy to push through whatever it is that you need to do, or you can direct it at your manifestations and your own personal practice. On Thursday and Friday, the moon will be waxing through the zodiac of Aquarius. And the Aquarius zodiac is all about individuality, but it's also a humanitarian. So you can take this energy and apply it externally back into your community, or you can take it and apply it internally to focus on yourself for a couple of days. Either way, this is a great time to bring in new types of energy for yourself or for your collective. On Saturday, the moon will be waxing in the zodiac of Pisces, and this is kind of a fun pairing because Pisces is a very creative energy, and Saturday, ruled by Saturn, is a day of discipline. Now, we don't think of it like that on a societal level, but it's true. And you can pair these energies together to get things done in a creative, fun, new way, or you can just relax and enjoy the creative energies that are at play. Mercury is currently retrograding through the sign of Sagittarius as well, and this is a bit of an interesting placement. Mercury is the planet of the mind. It rules over all mental affairs, the mental realm, also technology and communication. This is why when Mercury goes retrograde, people freak out a little bit because it can mess with their tech, it can mess up the way that people are communicating with each other, and it can cause us to literally think backwards. However, Mercury retrograde isn't anything to fear. It's really actually just giving us a chance to go back and rethink things so that we can move forward in the right direction for ourselves. When Mercury is retrograding through the zodiac of Sagittarius, there's a little bit of added passion here. As I said, Sagittarius is a fire sign, so it's really lighting these things up. It might be highlighting certain themes for you to rethink and to go through, or it might be causing you to look at your passions under a different light. Sagittarius is a very playful energy, but when Mercury is retrograding through it, you might feel more pressures from your responsibilities at this time. So take that with a grain of salt. Bring some balance into your life, and remember that you are only capable of doing what you are capable of doing at that time. You will get to more, you will grow and expand, but we're all human. We can only handle so much at a time, so you really just have to learn to trust the process. Venus is currently transiting Capricorn, and this is a relatively comfortable placement for Venus. Venus is the ruler of Taurus, so it's used to being in an Earth zodiac. But Capricorn doesn't have the same sort of romantic passion that Taurus does. Capricorn is a very determined, very focused, very motivated energy that likes to get things done. Saturn rules over Capricorn, and it is thought of as the father figure of the planetary system, and it's very disciplined. So when we see Venus retrograding through Capricorn, there is a good chance that your focus won't be on your romantic or even platonic relationships at this time. You might instead find yourself very focused on your passion projects, and this is a great time to really buckle down and make some headway in those areas. But it's also good to make sure that you are staying grounded and checking in with your important relationships. Another good thing about this transit is that it can cause us to get really grounded with our emotions. We can experiment with a lot of emotional control under this transit and figure out how we really want to be feeling, because it is a choice. This is a chance for you to get a handle on your inner world at a comfortable pace if you choose to do so. Mars is currently transiting through the zodiac of Leo, and as Mars rules over Aries, this is a comfortable placement for Mars because Leo is also a fire sign. However, there are some big differences between Aries and Leo. Leo is very bright, very sunshiny, very spotlight type of energy. So since Mars rules over our drive and determination, you might be feeling this combination of energies causing you to once again focus on yourself, on getting yourself out there, on getting involved, on doing the things that you have been wanting to do, and for you. This actually is a great time to practice self-care because Leo is focused on the self. It is ruled by the sun, which is all about the self. So this is a good time for you to turn in and use your drive to do something good for you. But once again, make sure that you are checking in with your meaningful relationships so that you can honor and respect them and keep them going if you so choose to. Jupiter is currently retrograding through Gemini, and this is an interesting placement. As I said, Jupiter is all about abundance, expansion, new horizons, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury, so it's a very heady energy. Gemini is represented by the twins, and this means that they have the ability to withhold opposing ideas in their mind at the same time. Now, with this combination of energies, and especially being in retrograde, you might find yourself being really focused on split energies of the past. Any forks in the road of your path that you have taken, you might be rethinking some of those decisions, and that's all right. We all make the wrong choice every once in a while, and sometimes it's not even the wrong choice, it's just more of a detour. And this can be literal or metaphorical, depending on your situation. But during this transit, you have the opportunity to look at your life choices and any split energies you might be facing about the future. If you have any big decisions coming in, now is a great time to consider them because you're able to really hold them in your mind and decide what is ultimately going to be the best for your path. It is important to note that when Jupiter is in retrograde, you might not feel like moving. Jupiter governs over travel, so you might feel the need to just stay still at this time, but that's all right. It is in that stillness that we are often able to find a lot of answers, and it's good to kind of plan your path before you move forward so that you can do so confidently. Jupiter in retrograde tends to worry people because Jupiter rules over good fortune and abundance, but you're not going to go broke under this transit. Instead, this could also just be an opportunity to rethink your finances and how you support yourself. If something isn't working, it's time to find something that does. Saturn recently went direct in Pisces, and as I said earlier when we were talking about the moon phases, Saturn and Pisces is an interesting combination. On a surface level, people might look at these energies and think that they are not a match, but they actually have great potential to balance each other out. Pisces is a very dreamy, romantic, creative energy, and Saturn is very disciplined and determined. It is a responsible type of energy, and Pisces is more of a go with the flow and enjoy life. But when you pair these energies together and they balance themselves out, you get the best of both worlds. This is kind of a left brain, right brain type of energy. This is a great time to bring creativity into your more disciplined projects or to get more disciplined with your creative projects. In particular, if you are creative yourself and you've been hoping to monetize that endeavor, this transit is going to help you figure out how to get disciplined enough to make that happen. Deadlines are the enemy for most creatives. We like to just be able to do what we need to do when we're inspired to do it, but if you want to go professional with whatever it is that you create, you're going to have to learn how to get things done under a little bit of a time crunch, at least here and there, and this is a great time to practice that skill. This is also a fantastic time to get organized with your creative process so that it can go smoothly for you and you don't run into a bunch of hiccups that could have been avoided. If you're on the other end of the spectrum and your career path is a little more left brain, then it might be time for you to invite some of this creativity in. Creative problem solving is how we get past so many obstacles in life and in work. So don't be afraid to open up that right brain and tap into your creative energies so that you can bring that balance into your daily life. Uranus is currently retrograding through Taurus, and I'm sick of this placement altogether, regardless of a retrograde or not. The last time we saw Uranus transiting through the sign of Taurus was when the Great Depression took place. This is likely because Uranus is a planet of higher consciousness. It is all about innovation and out-of-the-box thinking, and Taurus is a grounded, steady, stable, consistent earth element that really takes pride in its comforts. It wants things to stay the same because that is what is known and that is what is comfortable. It does not like to be challenged, and Uranus is all about challenges. So these two energies have been facing off for a couple years now, and we are noticing that opposition on an economic level. But this isn't necessarily a bad thing. These combination of energies are causing things to be rethought so that we can find a new way of doing things. If you bring this energy into your life personally, now is a fantastic time for you to reevaluate the way that you support yourself and figure out if it is indeed working for you or if it's time to make a change. Now, as this is already a fall placement and these two energies don't like to be paired together, when they go retrograde, they're mostly going to start working against themselves instead of each other, and this will actually lessen the intensity of what we feel in most areas of our lives because they're too busy fighting themselves to go head to head, and it gives us a little bit of a break. In most cases, a retrograde would cause a chaotic mixture of these energies, but they're already so split and different and fighting one another that it may feel like we're just getting a break from that for a little while, which can be a nice change of pace since it is such a long transit. But this retrograde may also really put the spotlight on rethinking your resources and your stability. So if you're feeling that pressure, try not to be freaked out by any idea of change. Rather, instead, try to embrace it. Figure out the direction in which you want to be going. Not everybody chooses to follow their passions, and that's all right. And even those who do may not choose to try and monetize them, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be enjoying the work that you do. If you are just living to work, you're not really living at all, and it might be time for you to make some sort of career change into a field that brings you, at the very least, a little bit of satisfaction and fulfillment so that you can be happy when you wake up every day. Career changes are a big highlight for this particular Uranus through Taurus transit because our world is changing, evolving, and expanding so quickly. There are more options available for us to work in different fields than there ever have been before. So don't be afraid to explore them a little bit if you're ready for a change. Neptune is currently retrograding through the zodiac of Pisces, and this is Neptune's domicile placement. Neptune rules over Pisces. It is generally very comfortable here. But when we experience a retrograde with this placement, things are likely to get more intense. Neptune rules over dreams, mysticism, and creativity. And when it is retrograding through the sign of Pisces, our biggest thing we have to worry about is getting too lost in fantasy. This transit is a particularly good one to make sure that you are practicing your grounding practices so that you do not get lost in any type of disassociation. Daydreams are wonderful and they're so important to creative processes, but you have to come back to reality and make sure that you are taking care of your life so that your life can take care of you. Neptune retrograding through Pisces may also cause us to visit deeper depths of ourselves and experience new and likely very potent emotions. So make sure that you are taking care of yourself as well. We're all human with a large capacity to feel many different types of things. So show yourself a little bit of grace and love during this time if you are experiencing any huge bouts of emotional uprising. Pluto has recently finally stepped into the zodiac of Aquarius, and this is almost prophetic. People have been talking about this for years. This transit is known as the Age of Aquarius. This is a particularly exciting time because as Aquarius is ruled by Uranus and very innovative, very creative, has a lot of unique energy, but also focuses so much on the humanitarian sides of life, this is going to shake up life as we know it. Pluto is all about life, death, and rebirth. It is the planet of transformation. It is the harbinger of change. So when you pair these two energies together and the fact that Pluto is a generational planet, this is going to change our entire society. This is going to change how we relate to one another, how we relate to the human experience, how we handle things in our world, and how we view our structures. This is also going to affect how we build new structures in the future. It is likely that this is going to come with a lot of positive changes, but regardless, change can be scary. So my best advice to you is to try and embrace the change. Don't fight it, don't resist it, because this transit is much bigger than just you and I. As I said, it's a generational planet. This transit is affecting the entire collective consciousness, and we are in for a reshaping of our world as we know it. However, I personally feel that this is an incredibly exciting time to be alive. I believe that within the next 3 decades, we're going to be able to look back on this time and see some very large, noticeable differences. I have an article all about the Age of Aquarius over on the Wicked Witches web that you can check out if you'd like to know a little bit more about what to expect from this transit, but you're likely going to see the ripple effects in the next few years to come. When Pluto was in Capricorn, it caused us to really go back and reanalyze and dismantle any structures that weren't working for us. And this has paved way for an entirely new world. So stay tuned because it's going to be very fascinating to see what the cosmos make of this energy. You just have to trust that it's all a part of the divine plan working out for our highest good and try to enjoy the show. Chiron is currently retrograding through the zodiac of Pisces. And when Chiron is in Pisces, Chiron is our wounded healer. It is all about the inner wounds that we have been carrying with us throughout this entire life and the lives to come before that. So when Chiron is in Pisces, you might be feeling these things on an even deeper level, as Pisces is such a transcendent and emotional zodiac. This can be a lot, especially if you are unprepared to heal, and especially during a retrograde, because you might be feeling these things even more intensely and they may seem to come out of nowhere. However, you can get through this by being bold enough to face up your inner wounds and heal and release them so that you can move on freely. I have also written a couple of articles all about healing through your Chiron placement and what each placement means for the type of wound that you need to address in this life. So feel free to check that out if you would like to be more well equipped to deal with the healing that is bound to come. We have a couple of notable aspects this week, starting with Mercury in trine with Chiron on December 2nd. And even though both of these planetary bodies are in retrograde, the trine is still a very harmonious aspect, and it might actually bring about a little bit of an inner peace. With Mercury ruling the mind and Chiron governing our inner wounds, now can be a really great time for you to connect with those parts of yourself. So if you've been struggling with your healing or you're wondering what to heal, this is a fantastic day for a little bit of meditation for you to get in touch with your inner world, because you're likely to get some very crystal clear messages. Also on December 2nd, we have Venus in trine with Uranus. This is going to bring higher consciousness to your emotions. So if you are dealing with your healing, you will be able to handle them from a totally different level. But this can also bring a new light into your love relationships or your passions as well. Now, these two transits are both just for one day, so if this sounds too intense, don't worry, you just have to wade through the energetic waves and it will end soon. But do try to take advantage of these energies to get yourself to a more comfortable state of existence. On December 6th, we have Mercury in opposition with Jupiter and the Sun squaring Saturn. Neither of these placements are what we would call harmonious. Opposition is, of course, these two are opposing each other, and a square is, yes, they are squaring off. And this does not mean that we're going to have a terrible time. It just means that the energies are going to be a little bit more intense. With Mercury opposing Jupiter, you might feel yourself more resistant to any new ideas that you are approached with on that day. So if you have any new ideas to approach anyone with, don't do it on December 6th. When the Sun is at a square with Saturn, this is ourself kind of challenging our own discipline and responsibility. So you might struggle with your own personal discipline just a little bit that day. You might find it a little bit harder to get full control of yourself, and you might feel like just kind of going with the flow instead of being on top of yourself. And that is all right. That's why I tell you these things, so that you can plan accordingly, so you can give yourself that little bit of a break. That's all I have for this one. Thank you so much for joining me, and make sure to like and subscribe so that I can help you keep your third eye in the sky. Stay blessed.